porque tuve la fortuna de vivirla sin engaños para compartir nostalgia. Yo también tuve 20 años.
Nestled in the eastern hills of Bogotá, Ecobarrio Triángulo is a microcosm of Colombia's history, shaped by displacement, informality, conflict, and resistance. Marked by decades of political violence, Triángulo now faces a new threat, state-led eviction. For over 20 years, residents have resisted resettlement, justified by the designation of unmitigable risk, a label unevenly applied, often sparing wealthier areas while targeting low-income communities. Here, risk is not only environmental, but political. Yet, the community persists, defending their homes, their culture, and their right to remain. Though Ecobarrio began as a government initiative, it was reappropriated by civil society as a form of resistance, promoting alternative, community-rooted ways of living. In Triángulo, it reflects unity with nature, care, and a claim to the right to the city. We came not to speak for Triángulo, but to listen, learn, and visibilize community knowledge, mapping strategies of resistance and the ecosystem of actors who are or should be involved in defending this territory. Triángulo holds the potential to become a powerful precedent, a reference point for other settlements across Bogotá, Colombia, and beyond. Sometimes referred to as a Little Colombia, it embodies the nation's layered struggles and enduring acts of resistance. Through this work, we hope to amplify Triángulo's story and support strategies that strengthen the collective fight for justice and dignity. As part of our problem diagnosis, we identified key structural and systemic drivers underlying the challenges faced in Triángulo. Residents experience institutional disinvestment, fragmented and shifting legal frameworks, and technocratic governance that excludes their voices. Ecobarrio recognition has been applied selectively, while corruption and biopower have deepened existing inequalities. These conditions have resulted in forced displacement, psychological trauma, and the fragmentation of community ties, often intensified by internal pressures and fear within the community.
Guided by this approach, our research questions are: number one, what partnerships currently exist and how do they interact to support or limit biourban health in Triángulo Manantial? How can the existing ecosystem of actors be leveraged or strengthened to enhance biourban health and support community effort to resist resettlement? Number two, what strategies are being leveraged to disrupt risk-driven displacement while reinforcing community belonging and rootedness in Triángulo and other ecobarrio across the Eastern Hills and Bogotá? Number three, how might Triángulo's community-led strategies functions as a replicable model for advancing just urban transformation, shaping policy, strengthening ecobarrio networks, and prioritizing alternative methods to development? For the methodology, we had 3 transact walks, 41 semi-structured interviews, 4 online interviews, 1 focus group with more than 25 people engaged, and also several informal conversations. These researches provide valuable internal and external perspectives to let us understand the reality and mitigation strategies, their perceived effectiveness, and the stakeholder metrics for future collaboration.
During the initial transect walk, we identified 8 key themes that shaped our interview questions, guiding our exploration of challenges and collective strategies. The following reflections from community members offer partial insights into each theme.
Todo lo que he vivido y el arraigo que me dejó mis padres son los que me... esas raíces, ese arraigo con mis padres. Y hoy en día que estoy viviendo con mi familia, pues mejor todavía más raíz.
Es un territorio de los cerros orientales, es un territorio hídrico donde existe el agua, la flora, la fauna. Es por eso que la defendemos y la queremos.
La vía, que nos tiene, eso es lo que en este momento nos tiene más afectado, la verdad, porque digamos de esa vía, ellos han arreglado las personas, son unas que han colaborado arreglando, rellenando, que para que eso no se siga bajando. Pero en caso de que por cosas de la vida todo eso se desbarrancara total, pues quedamos incomunicados totalmente.
Pues se sentiría nostalgia, pero por un lado se sentiría nostalgia de dejar ese pedacito de tierra para irse a otro lado. Pero como todos, sentimentalmente, como que todos pertenecemos a este territorio de la pavimentada para acá.
De los futuros me voy y estamos comprometidos y nos estamos comprometiendo en convertir este barrio en un barrio ecológico.
Sí, creemos firmemente en que la educación puede cambiar el pensamiento y la mentalidad de las personas. Por eso consideramos que una idea sin duda alguna es capacitar y formar a las personas que hacen parte del barrio, para concientizarlos y sobre todo en saber que si recibes algo tienes que dar algo a cambio, entonces capacitarlos en el sentido de pertenencia y en la capacidad de esfuerzo.
El sembrado de plantas es algo que tenemos acceso y que nos serviría mucho, por un lado, para sostener y para sumar como a ese medio ambiente, y por otro lado también como para ser autosostenibles, ¿no?
Creo que si no hay esa posibilidad de legalización, pues aquí han de hacer como otra especie de, para las familias que quedamos, como familias guardabosques, que nos dejen vivir acá y nosotros mismos cuidemos y protejamos este sitio.
We designed a simple nature-based visual, a tree, to represent a multi-scalar theory of change that emerged from our fieldwork findings. At the heart of this approach is a bottom-up strategy where community-led action drives institutional and structural change and contributes to environmental justice. The ultimate aim is to establish a partnership ecosystem that supports environmental justice for marginalized and fringe communities. We also envision the formation of an interdisciplinary community of practice which fosters collaboration with communities and the network in designing interventions and securing funding. A key finding from our fieldwork was that the first stage must be healing at both the personal and communal levels. In this context, reparative justice functions as a crucial enabling mechanism, creating the conditions necessary for collective well-being and transformative change. Healing will help the community come to terms with the deep harms and psychological trauma inflicted by decades of physical, social, and institutional violence. Activities such as hearing clinics, counselling, mingas, and indigenous practices like Circle of Words can all contribute to personal and communal healing that can foster mutual understanding, well-being, and a sense of belonging. These healing activities can be delivered by key institutional, academic, and charitable actors in a sustained manner, so Triángulo Manantial receives the foundational support the community is currently in need of.
During our time in Triángulo Manantial, we've co-developed feasible, possible, and desirable strategies at the barrio level across 3 key dimensions: legal, social, and physical. Legally, we propose a green legal clinic in partnership with universities like Nacional and UCL, where law students support residents with land rights, legalization, and institutional accountability, while training future environmental lawyers. These efforts advance the right to the city, service access, and recognitional justice. Socially, we emphasize solidarity networks within and beyond the 3 neighborhoods. Tools like Educación Popular and practices such as mingas support communal learning. Community centers, gardens, murals, and other shared spaces foster cohesion, care, and rootedness. And finally, physically, we explore nature-based solutions like bamboo water systems and slope stabilization, not only to reduce risk, but to affirm the community's role as stewards of the cerros. Together, these strategies aim to uphold the right to remain, protect community memory, and promote sustainable, just futures in the territory. At the network level, the aim is to replicate the eventual success of Triángulo Manantial across other ecobarrios. Central to this is the creation of a partnership ecosystem that facilitates knowledge sharing, strategy coordination, and collective advocacy. This view informed our actor mapping process. We built on the community's own existing map of actors to visualize who's currently involved and who should be involved in helping the community implement these strategies. This map is just a starting point, aimed at bridging gaps between actors and sparking dialogue to begin translating these strategies into action. The ultimate goal is to cultivate a thriving, expansive network of ecobarrios and their allies, stretching beyond Triángulo Manantial and the Eastern Hills, across Bogotá and beyond.
Therefore, Amañamiento fosters belonging, rootedness, and collective well-being through participatory implementation across 3 interconnected levels. In the first level, healing practices such as dialogue circles and memory work would strengthen trust and mutual care at the personal level. These actions align with BOT's framework for cultural infrastructure and memory, aimed at protecting communities from cultural races during urban transformation processes. At the neighborhood level, participatory planning will enhance local agency and promote socio-spatial justice. This approach connects to BOT's objectives on territorial rebalancing and socio-spatial justice that seek to address historical inequalities. Finally, at the network level, establishing a partnership ecosystem can foster cross-sector collaboration, ensuring that Ecobarrios receive the necessary support to achieve their objectives, which aligns with the POD's citizen participation and governance framework.
Triangular Manantial isn't just resisting eviction, it's building an alternative urban future. This is a challenge to development models that replace rather than invest in communities. Rooted in healing, care, and resistance, the community strategies show that just resilient cities are possible when people are supported to stay and thrive. In a context shaped by exclusion, Triangular offers a blueprint grounded in memory, rootedness, and the right to remain, pointing to how community-led resilience can scale through solidarity and justice. The fight for Triangular is not just about protecting a single community in the Eastern Hills. It is about reimagining who cities are for and what kind of futures we are willing to build together.